I'm trying to record a podcast. Hey everybody, Angela Ardolino with Your Natural Dog, and my guests today are Larry and Charly from Pawdega, and we're going to be talking about traveling with your pets. I think that the most beautiful thing that I've been able to do for this past 2 years is travel the country with my pets. Now, I was in an Airstream and an RV and stayed in a lot of Airbnbs. And it's kind of simple. You know, I have to worry about food and medicine and how they do in the car and routines, but flying with them, I would love to do. And Larry and Charly have flown all over the world with their 10-year-old Frenchie Milka, and I want to know how they do it. So they're going to share all their tips and some of their crazy stories that they've experienced. So stay tuned. And we're back with Your Natural Dog and my very special guest, Larry and Charly from Pawdega. And I have been dying. Well, I'm one of your biggest fans. I enjoy your videos, especially your traveling videos more than anything. I think traveling the world is one of the best education you could ever get on, you know, the world and how it operates and how different cultures are. I just love it. But every time I see you guys, I'm like, how do they do it? How do you fly everywhere and go everywhere in the world with your dog? How much does she weigh?
Milka is
12 kilos.
Yeah, about 25 pounds.
11, yeah.
Okay, so it's like, so pounds. She is kind of technically a medium-sized dog. She's not even like a little dog anymore. Mm-hmm.
I just want to mention she's a Frenchie, so she can pass as a small dog.
Mm-hmm. Right. But still, what my point is that it's 25 pounds that you're carrying or hauling also with you everywhere. Yeah. So tell me, what are your like tips and secrets? How the hell do you travel to another country with your dog?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm excited for this topic. First of all, you know, one day Charly and we were living in Dubai, and we left Milka with a friend one summer because Dubai summers are brutal. So we we got to get out of here. And we went to Germany, and we went to a park in Germany, and I was like, I wish we could have Milka here. You know, I wish we could just bring her. And then, you know, that's when the research started. We're like, well, how can we do it? You know, like how do we do this import export process without it being complicated or expensive? And then we figured out, like, if you do the research yourself and you do the export and the import process yourself, a lot of the times you can save, no lie, you can save thousands of dollars if you just do the process yourself. So for people listening, we travel with Milka. She travels as a service animal, but she's also traveled as a pet in the cabin as well, because she's a pretty small dog. So we can put her inside of a pet carrier. And I would say the research that we do also requires just making sure what vaccines does she need to have, or like health certificates or import permits. So what we usually do is we'll check a government website, something like an embassy. A lot of the times will tell you, if you import your dog into Germany, here are all the requirements that you need to have. If you are trying to import your dog into the United States, here are all the documents you need to have. If you are from the United States and you go visit another country and you're trying to come back, here's everything that you need to have. So,
yeah, because I just learned about that. I read a story about a person, I think it was over into Canada, that they drove over to Canada with their dog, no problem, nobody asked anything. And when they came back, the United States was like, hey, we need this. And they were like, I'm just coming back. So, you hear stories like that and I'm like, oh my gosh. Yes, I'm not going to lie. I'm fearful of it. Yeah. I wish I could do what you guys are doing and hop in a plane with my dogs.
To be honest, it does take a lot of research, but Larry does a lot of the research. I remember, though, also the very first time that Milka flew was when we moved from Germany to Dubai. And that flight, she actually had to go into cargo, which was very stressful
I
for
can't
both
imagine.
of us. Yeah. But then after all the flights after that, and she's done over 15 flights, I think.
Yeah.
All of them have been in the cabin. But even the first flight that she took out of Dubai back then, like we had to call so many airlines. And when we finally found an airline that would take a 12-kilo dog as a pet in cabin, we had to call them like 3 times just to confirm, because people sometimes say things that are not true, because like we were online with them, we bought the ticket and then we tried to add the dog and then it wasn't possible. So,
Yeah.
but then in the end, we did manage to do it with a different airline. So like sometimes, I mean, it is sometimes very time consuming because you do have to research and you have to make sure, because you don't want to get stranded somewhere. But once you have done it a couple times, you learn so much and you know which airlines you can fly with, you know what to do. So it gets easier for sure.
Yeah, I know. We definitely, us traveling with Blanche and Linda everywhere, we have definitely figured out which airlines are more friendly than others. You know, ones that we're hiding them versus others who are like, there's an empty seat, let them have the seat. We're like, okay, we like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the writing and cargo, how'd you prepare for that? What kind of crate did you get? What did you give her? How long is the flight, first of all? And like, what did you give her to know that, you know, she's got what she's needed and she's going to be okay?
One of the most important things with that was that we bought our crate, the actual travel crate that she was going to be traveling in. We bought that way in advance so that she can get used to it.
Nice.
So like we bought it a couple of months before. We made her sleep in that, like gradually get her used to it, spend longer and longer times in it. And back then she was a puppy, so she was crate trained already. So that was helping.
We also drove around.
Did we?
Yeah. We had her in the crate, put her in the car, and then we drove around so she can get used to the bumps and stuff like that. So we really prepared her for that crate.
I wish we had known about CBD back then.
I was going to say.
That would have definitely helped.
Because that's my first instinct is that I would want to like drug them up so that they're literally just sleeping the whole time. And when I say drug them up, I mean give them a lot of CBD so that they can just relax and sleep the whole time.
That's what we do nowadays.
Oh, good. Yeah, it does that's what happens to Archie too.
Then I think
the flight
6 hours.
That was probably like 6 or 7 hours. Her first flight when she flew in the cargo hold.
Yeah, how do they do that when you do travel in cargo? Where do you drop them off or hand them over or any of that? And then where do you pick them up afterwards? And how the hell did you keep yourself the whole time knowing that she's just under you?
It was crazy. I dropped her off in Frankfurt there's like a pet cargo area, I guess. And of course you have to drop them off a couple of hours before. I don't remember how many hours.
Like, do you put something on the crate? Like,
I'm pretty sure they did.
Like a GPS tracker or anything on the crate? Because I've read that people do that.
The Bluetooth monitor.
This was like 9 years ago.
This was
okay. 9 years
before
ago.
all
Got
the technology.
But nowadays,
today.
right?
Today, yes, we would do all of that stuff. But back then, I think it was just a marking of her name on the crate with like some type of like tape, and then a bunch of documents that are attached to the crate itself. You'll still see that today. Sometimes we'll go through the airport and we will see some of the dogs come like to the baggage area, and they'll just have their name written on the crate, so people that go by, they can say the dog's name. But that's what we usually see when we see cargo pets. Yeah. So that's the cargo experience. And to be honest, like Charly said, I am not a fan at all, because when we first picked Milka up from like the cargo village in Dubai, like she just looks so scared. It's like it's a look in a dog that you just never really want to see. And after that, we were like, never again. Like we were
Right.
like, we never really want to do that ever again.
Yeah, but again, unfortunately, some pets
Yes.
can't be in the cabin. So that is still a good option if like you're moving, for example, right? Like back then, there was no way we were going to leave Milka in Germany.
Right.
So she had to come with us, right? So
okay, so now we're current day. So you do the research. Like, okay, so you decided to go to Thailand. Just the thought of taking my dog to Thailand, like I'm like, nope, too much. My brain explodes. I can't handle what would take for preparation. So you go on you go to the embassy, you look at what their laws, rules are for bringing dogs over.
Yeah.
Then you find the friendly airline that is, known to be, not so crazy and love your dog instead of go, no, he can't be here. What are his facts? What are his, that type of thing.
So usually like in the case of us going to Thailand, usually what I would do is I would go to the embassy website, and then the embassy will point me into the government website of the country that we are importing to. So then I'll check, okay, Milka needs this, and that. Then I will try to check for anybody that has done the process themselves, because I also want to know, like from firsthand experience, what was the process like? Because you can read stuff, but you just like don't know how it's going to be. You don't know, are there any red flags? Have you heard of any type of corruption stuff? Because of course, like that's stuff that worries me. I don't want to get on a plane and then try to import my dog, and then they're saying your dog has to quarantine and you got to pay all this money.
Right.
So we check for that type of stuff to make sure that it's a legit way to import our pet into the country. So that's usually how we import Milka into any country that we go to. And we avoid countries that
do quarantine,
that require a quarantine for an animal, for a dog.
And that's something they'll clearly state.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And some countries don't allow, or some areas don't allow dogs at all. Like, for example, we would love to go to Bali with Milka, but it's not possible. You're not allowed to import dogs into there. So that is part of the research that, is done before booking anything.
So the other thing that I always think of while you guys are like in the other country is, what the hell are you feeding her? Does she meet other dogs? What are the dogs like there? Like, I know, for instance, in Mexico on the beach, there's so many stray dogs running around on the beach. Are they healthy? Yeah. Like, I know when Carter went with Archie was running around like he was one of those street dogs with all the dogs. But like, what do you feed? How do you find food? Because I know it's hard enough to find good food here in the United States, much less go somewhere and see that they're maybe not have the food. And I'm sure you're not traveling with frozen dog food in your luggage. So what do you do?
No, I just want to say right now, I don't know if you can hear Milka in the background, but she's snoring so much right now.
Oh my gosh, I can now.
Anybody wondering who is snoring? It's my dog, okay?
She's enjoying this interview very much. There they are talking about me again.
she's killing it. Okay.
Yeah. So
what do we feed? It depends on the country that we're going to be completely honest. So if we go to America, there's raw food options, and that's not a problem. Right now we're in Germany. So much raw food, pasture-raised raw food, which is amazing.
Nice.
So that's what she's currently eating. But when we go to a country like Thailand, and I'm just going to say quality pet food is not really prioritized. So I am so thankful for freeze-dried raw. So we literally packed a 6-month supply of raw food.
Yes, this is what I was wondering what you guys were doing. Yep.
So we packed. So we've been traveling with like freeze-dried raw dog food for a long time.
Milka has her own suitcase, all of her freeze-dried raw, all of her supplements, like everything in there. Like she's got so many supplements, so many things. And we actually found a really cool suitcase that is how you say foldable. Like it's like a backpack where if, because obviously she's going to consume the food, so we don't want to lug an empty suitcase with us. So that backpack, it's like a backpacker backpack.
So it's like folds up into a bag.
You can fold it up and it's so tiny when you fold it up. So that's our solution. But yeah, those are the things. We've honestly, since traveling, like we've been traveling full time now for 1 year and 3 months with Milka. And we've had to give up a lot of our standards when it comes to like non-toxic living that we've acquired throughout the years. Like, non-toxic, 100% natural cleaning products and just like things like that. And also just living in hotels or Airbnbs, there's just a lot of things that we can't control. It's out of our control. But thankfully, the pet food and the supplements, even though it's not the most convenient to travel with an extra suitcase, but those are the things that we don't want to compromise on. And we are so grateful that we can continue to prioritize those.
Yeah, I traveled for 2 years straight. It was funny because I just bought a house so that I could settle down. But I thought it was so interesting because I left on August 21st from Florida and then moved into my new house 2 years later on August 21st by accident. But that is my biggest complaint about traveling is Airbnbs and hotels. And if you are living a pretty much toxic-free living, meaning you've taken the toxins out of your home, food, personal care products for you and your pet, and then you start traveling, you are a canary in a coal mine. Literally every time I'd walk into an Airbnb and just be like, oh my God, because I could smell the cleaning and the air, the stupid plug-in stuff and all the things to make everything smell nice that I literally would have to come in, clean the whole place, do all, can't even sleep in the bed from the dryer or the laundry detergent. It's awful.
Fabric softeners.
Yeah. And then forget about hotels, man. They're absolutely want everything to be clean and, Cloroxed and whatever. But yeah, that is a huge, huge thing that you forget about. I traveled also with freeze-dried. Mostly I would do like a Dr. Harvey's or an Anderson's base food so that I wouldn't, because my refrigerator in the Airstream is tiny. The freezer is like this big. So literally the only thing in our freezer was dog food. But it's those are things you definitely have to keep in mind because you don't want them to have an incident in a foreign country where you would have to maybe go find care or a veterinarian or something like that. So same. Travel with a whole separate bag of supplements and food for our pets.
We try to stay prepared for like any situation. So as mentioned, we have all of the supplements for Milka, but there was actually 2 times this happened already. We were in Mexico on like a remote island, and then we were also in Thailand on a remote island. And in both places, she picked up ticks. And she's never had ticks in her life, actually. So this was the first time that it happened. And we're like, the first time? No, actually, I had to leave the island and then I drove to a homeopathic pharmacy to pick up some homeopaths to deal with the ticks. And I'm thankful we were able to do that. But it took a while for me to get to this.
Like 4 hours.
It took a whole day because it took 4 hours to get there. And I had to drive 4 hours back.
Oh my
So it took a long time.
And the ferry back was stopped at 9 p.m. or something.
Yeah. So if I didn't catch the ferry back at 9 p.m., then I was stranded there until the next day. But then in Thailand, this happened again. And we didn't have, again, all of the homeopathics that we needed. And that was harder. That was much harder because we couldn't import the products either. So we I don't even know how we end.
It was harder in general in Thailand to get homeopathics. So yeah. So anyway, we try to travel really with everything and anything that we might need.
Yeah.
And that also means that we're traveling with a lot of things that we don't end up needing, but we rather have it, and actually that is one thing as well. Like Milka did develop Ehrlichia actually in Thailand, and we were able to manage it 100% naturally, thankfully. It took 1 month or 1.5 months, but
4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think we were so thankful that we had all of the products with us, because we actually tried to place an order with our store, Pawdega, and that
we never received the package.
Yeah,
did you complain?
So
did you file a customer service complaint? Well, I love that you're saying that.
I should have.
So, see how your whole process goes. But I like that you say that, because this is why supporting the immune system always is so important, and why we don't want to suppress that immune system, because you never know what they're going to come across, even if it's in your own backyard. Same thing happened. I'm in Florida, which you would think would have ticks. Never had a tick, never had a problem, nothing. California has ticks. And all of a sudden I was dealing with tick problems. But that's what's good, is that you immediately go, and then you go, oh, wait, I'm supporting their immune system in every way possible. The body knows what to do. All I need to do is give it a little bit of help to help it get rid of this toxin or threat or whatever it is. So I love being able to have that peace of mind. Nice work. Wow. 8-hour drive. Yeah, that same thing. I'm running around, trying to, I literally just placed an order so that I could get my amber collars again that, I used to carry at my store, and find who's got it so that I can get them shipped here and put them back on my dogs, because I haven't had them on there forever. If someone is literally considering traveling and doing some of this with their own dogs, what are some of the number one things that you guys have discovered besides traveling with your favorite things to make sure that you have what you need? What are some other tips that you would give pet parents? How do you know that your dog is even a good candidate? What happens if I adopt a 2-year-old dog, so I haven't had it since a baby, and traveling and train it? Do you think it's still possible? How do you know your dog would be a good candidate for doing these types of explorations?
Yeah, see how your dog does in stressful situations, because travel is stressful. And I know a lot of pet parents say to us, my dog could never do it because their dogs just will bark at everyone, I guess, or I'm not sure. But there are certain things that are triggers for Milka. For example, when she goes through airport security, that's a little bit difficult, just because, and that's honestly, a lot of people that work at airport security, they do not know how to touch dogs, how to handle dogs. Everyone does it different too. Some people want the harness off and the dog to go naked through the thing. Some people touch the dog, some people and some, it's always very stressful at the security, honestly, because you just never know what to expect and what they're going to do. And it's stressful for Milka too. So we have gotten a muzzle for her. So that helps a lot.
Carter was telling me, because he puts Archie in a backpack. I saw you doing that with Milka too. Put it in a backpack and carries her that way. And he goes, you won't believe how many people just go, right up to him and can't control themselves. And he's constantly going, don't touch my dog. Don't touch my dog. It's it is really crazy how people can't resist, doing that. And that's scary to a dog. And I don't know anybody who's not stressed going through airport security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the muzzle keeps her busy until you get into the plane.
Yeah.
Also treats.
Yeah, and CBD.
Oh my God, CBD. And we do it early. Yeah. So if her flight's at 12, we're starting CBD as soon as she wakes up in the morning. And then we give her a couple of doses, to really just relax her before the flight. We'll exercise her, just to get her physically worn out.
Yep.
As well, to help her on that flight. So she just sleeps throughout the whole flight, hopefully.
Yep.
Also, one thing that is a tip, just as far as logistics also, what's very important when you're traveling from the US and back into the US is that you make sure that whatever rabies vaccine you from the United States that your pet is exiting the United States from or with, that is still valid when they come back. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to vaccinate the dog in a different country and then return with that foreign vaccine into the US. It's possible that you might have to revaccinate your dog at the airport you enter the US based on where you came from. So
yeah, that's a very, very important. And by the way, everything that Charly and I, we document our export and import process online. So you can find that on the Pawdega channel, as well as our personal channel, Charly and Larry. So we document our travel experiences. So everything that we talk about, you can find online. Like we share that for free. Like you can find that. But when it comes to depending on the country that you're traveling to, if it's a high risk rabies country and you try to enter back into the US without the US issued rabies vaccine, it will become really problematic for importation. So if you can get the US rabies issued vaccine in the US, keep it and don't let it expire while you're out of the country.
Very smart. And if for some reason you do have to get a vaccination, you can do a detox or our homeopathics. What do you guys do to help detox from any unnecessary vaccinations or things like that?
Well, I really, really love the rebalancer from Adored Beast.
Which used to be called anti-vaccinosis or something, right?
Yeah, yes. And they had to, unfortunately, they have their challenges too, and they had to rename the product, so now it's known.
Yeah, exactly. God forbid we tell them what the real medicine
does.
What
it really does.
Right, exactly.
So that's a really, really great product.
And it has Thuja
and something else. I can't remember the other ingredient inside of it.
But it's a homeopathic. Right, that helps basically really get rid of all of the other things that are in that vaccination, help the body clear it out and bring it back to homeostasis. Yeah, it's a wonderful product. Good. Well, thank you so much for these tips. I feel you guys are inspiring. You make me go, okay, well, if they did it, I could do it. So I appreciate you sharing those tips. How do people follow you? I know you said that you do your, I watch all of your travels, that you share them, how you go through everything. Where can people find you and follow you?
On YouTube, we are at Pawdega. Our website is pawdega.us. And we also have our personal channel now, which has lots of travel videos. That's called Charly and Larry on YouTube.
And TikTok. We're on TikTok.
Yay!
Okay. We're new to TikTok.
Yeah. And earlier you were asking, what about the street dogs and how do they interact with Milka? And we actually have a really funny story because in Mexico, the street dogs are very different than in Thailand, actually. We find them to be a lot more nicer in Mexico.
Wow.
And in Thailand, we've had situations where we couldn't walk Milka much around our Airbnb because the street dogs were so territorial.
Wow.
But we were in one Airbnb and that was absolutely beautiful. It was like a plant sanctuary. The host, he was just rescuing plants and making them get back to life and nurturing them. And he adopted 2 street dogs, but they were living outside mostly. So they were property dogs. And it was so funny because we were there for a month and we got into our routine. And every morning we take Milka out for a walk and they would just come with us.
Oh.
And they just they come with us on a walk and we're just walking. And then we get into the other street dogs territory. And you notice those 2 rescue dogs, they are super alert. And they're just okay, they're looking out. And that one day we got chased away by the other street dogs that then came and charged at all of us. And the two rescue dogs, they were gone. They were just like, okay, you're out by yourself now. So Milka and Larry and me, we just walked back. And then the next day, same thing. We go towards the same area. And then those two rescue dogs, they come with us again. And then those two, their whole demeanor changed. Like they were like, okay, no, they told me off yesterday already. I'm like super careful getting into this territory now. One of them already like is falling back behind us, doesn't want to come with us. And Milka is just like, dum, 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 dum.
No
like
clue.
Nothing happened. And it's so crazy, because you just see like, wow, Milka is obviously a pet dog.
She's a domesticated dog.
Yep.
Yeah. And she's just so far removed from, danger in nature. She has no idea what happened. And like, it was so interesting staying at this Airbnb because we watched these dogs just play outside every day and be in mud and then chasing they were, some of them, there were snakes and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
But Milka would try and eat the snake probably, but they learn that things like that are going to harm them,
Right.
So it's so interesting to have watched those
free roaming dogs.
Exactly.
That's what they were.
Yeah.
I mean, like they were free to do whatever they wanted.
And you go to places like I've been to Greece, and I know that it was this way in Turkey, but Greece, they're part of the community and everybody feeds them and takes care of them. And it's a lot. They were very friendly in Greece also. I remember like a whole pack literally following me and my girlfriend all over the place. Like we would literally go into a bar and come out and they were waiting for us. I mean, I did feed them burgers, so that might have been the reason, but it was so interesting to me, like how different, it is other places and observing that. Thank you so much for sharing your adventures with us. I always enjoy you guys so much. Thank you for what you do. I really enjoy your content and I really appreciate your friendship. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much.
Too. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please make sure to leave us a review wherever you're listening from. This is the best way to help pet parents like you find these episodes and get access to all our content. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Your Natural Dog and at AngelaArdolino.com.